I remember my dad's words. He said, "Anton, get yourself a degree. It will be an important foundation and it will be something that we can have with you for the rest of your life." And I remember thinking, why? Why would I need that? And at the time, I just landed in Australia and embarked on my entrepreneurial journey with a goal of achieving my own company. And I had read success stories of entrepreneurs that had dropped out of school. So my perception of academic education was that entrepreneurs didn't need academic education. Now, today, my perception of academic education has certainly changed. And that's why I graduate today after 2 years of hard work, juggling life and full-time work and full-time studies, and graduating with a Master's of Business Administration from Torrens University. Now, I'm proud. We all should be proud. And I know my parents, my partner, my parents' newly retired teachers, they are proud. They traveled more than 15,000 kilometers to be here today. So we're coming to an end of this amazing event, and they put me as one of the last speakers, and I'm sure you're all super keen to get out celebrating, so I won't keep you for very long. I just want to touch on something that has been of great help to me, in particular over the last 2 years, and that's perception. It's not what we look at, it's what we see and how we choose to act. My name is Anton Fredriksson, and I grew up in the most northern part of the world, in the northern part of Sweden called Lapland. It's above the Arctic Circle, and we got 6 months of dark, 6 months of sunshine. We have midnight sun and northern lights. And growing up, I would say I had a very comfortable and safe upbringing. I had great family and great friends, and growing up, sports was really everything for me. And although I no longer dream about representing the national team or making it to the really big leagues, sports have really given me a lot. I totally understand the importance of having a goal, the power of teamwork, and attitude and perception. And it's also given me a very competitive mindset. Over the last few years, when we worked through our Gallup strength test with our success coaches, competitive has always been on the top. And on that note, I think our success coaches of Torrens University, the work you're doing for student growth and personal development is amazing. And we very much appreciate your work. So can we please give all the success coaches of Torrens University a round of applause? Matthew, who graduated just behind me today, asked me a question of how I ended up here in Australia. And my answer was curiosity. I was curious to see other parts of the world, and I ended up in Australia for what I thought to be a very short trip. Now, 13 years later, and many visa applications later, which a lot of you guys can relate to, and a lot of persistence, I can call Australia, this incredible country, a great second home. And I said I wasn't going to keep you for long. Now, over the last few years in Australia, I've had a privilege to try entrepreneurship, everything that comes with that, both high highs and low lows. I'm working within a great organization today. I'm doing some work that I love doing. I'm involved in business ventures and business networks, and I've been privileged to be mentored by some really good people over the years. Now, my perception, as I said in the beginning, of academic education really started to change a couple of years ago. And I started to think about how an academic education could really anchor my decade of work experience. It would expand my network, it would give me a bigger toolbox, and it would surround myself with really talented people. Now, within weeks of thinking that, and I believe that things happen for a reason, I met some representatives of Torrens who explained to me that with my work experience and a graduate certificate, I could make my pathway towards a Master's of Business. And after that, they also explained, like, I have pretty considerable work commitments, so having the flexibility of online studies really ticked the boxes for me. Now, the last 2 years have certainly been challenging for all of us with everything that pandemic has brought. But with the right perception, you can choose to look at the positive parts. For example, Some of us didn't have to commute from work over the last 2 years. It's really giving us more time for studies. We had to use our creativity to connect with people in ways we probably never thought we had to connect with people before. And at times, when lockdown rules didn't really apply, we could choose where we wanted to study, maybe the beach or the park. And look, we really didn't have to feel like we were missing out on things, because things weren't happening anyway. And look, I truly believe that we've all been at the right place at the right time, making the most out of time, completing a whole degree during a lockdown. Surely that means making the most of it. And as I said in the beginning, that's all perception. It's not what we look at, it's what we see. And now our lectures, how we appreciate your work. You had to choose to move all the classes online. Or actually, you didn't have to choose. You were forced to move all the classes online. You were faced with issues around helping students with internet connection problems or computer problems. You had to consider time zones stretching from South America to Europe to Asia Pacific. During our online classes, you got interrupted by delivery drivers, pets barking in the background, or guest appearances by kids. And it really made us all humans, and it showed vulnerability. And someone once told me that people don't really care how much you know until they know how much you care. And you teachers surely showed our students how much you care. So thank you. So, ladies, gentlemen, academics, alumni, family, friends, parents, partners, guests, and most importantly, fellow graduates, I am very honored to have been selected to represent the business faculty. I am honored to be one of the last to wish us all nothing but the best as we enter the world, achieving goals and inspiring people around us. None of us are perfect, but we can strive to show up as the best version of ourselves each and every day. Choose to focus on the things that you can control and don't worry too much about the things you can't. And let's remember what I said in the beginning. Remember the importance of perception. Change is uncomfortable, but inevitable. Growth, however, requires the right perception, and that, my friends, is optional. Thank you.